Okay, and I'm gonna come, let me face closer here so we can see. Okay, as his head rounds in, I'm gonna keep the tip of the teeth just a little bit away from his head. So we're gonna get a natural taper there with the 2-blade. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing in the back corner here. Okay, so we always start out with one longer blade, and it's going to make it that much easier when we go with the shorter one. Okay, now we're going to go down to an eighth of an inch. Metal blades, it's 1.5. I always refer to the length, 1/8 of an inch, and we're going to go all the way through. Now, as his head rounds in, I'm going to take an imaginary line straight up. That's going to create a natural fading effect. So the principles apply on short hair just like they do on long hair. By just gradually taking that imaginary line out, we don't wind up with any harsh weight lines. Around the edges, we don't wind up with any harsh weight lines either. And when I say fast, I don't mean hand speed, I mean efficiency.
Okay, I have one other question.
Sure, go on, keep asking.
Indentations that, make it in the head, the lines here and top,
Yes.
and then the indentation back. Is there an easier way to get so you don't see the shadowing?
Stretch the skin, go slow with your clipper, take your 4420s, turn them upside down, okay? You can get closer to the head if you turn them upside down. Take the fine teeth of your finishing comb, one that bends, dig right in there, and go and just try to taper it out. But you have to remember, you have to work with the canvas that your customer brought you. So I mean, at some point you gotta quit while you're ahead. You got these guys come in and they have 3 rolls across the back of their head, and you can't get the clipper blade in there. There's only so much you can do. I offer to bring out the power sander, but nobody's taken me up on it yet. Okay, so same thing. We're just all down to an 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so far we've learned 2 haircuts, and we've done it on one head. We've done a layer cut with texturizing, and we've done a fade. We broke the rules with the fade. We went past the round of the head. Now we're going to do a taper. So this was like the Martin Luther King haircut, my buddy that taught me how to do fades. It's just that little bit of angle in front of the ears and behind the ear. So that's the 3rd haircut we're going to learn today. So I'm a creature of habit, and I just can't start on the left side, so I got to spin you around again. I got to do the right side first, otherwise I'll be all mixed up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1A metal blade, which is universal, cuts to a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to take this and start here, and then I'm going to switch to my adjustable clipper. I like to work down instead of up. Okay, so I'm going to take my 1A. Okay, and I'm going to create my first fade length. And I'm just going to I want to take a little bit more around the ears, but not too much. So if you take a blade and you tip it up, you make it longer. So I go from a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch. And this is easier than taking the blade off, picking up my 1/8 of an inch, putting it back on. Because that's the other thing, is after all these years, I don't want to work too hard. Okay, now I'm going to take my adjustable clipper. We have 3 different lengths: open, halfway closed, and closed. So we're going to go up not quite as high with it open. We're going to use a very slow scooping motion. None of this, 100-mile-an-hour stuff. It doesn't accomplish much. Very slow scooping motion. Okay, we're going to close it halfway. Going to do the same thing. We want to try to leave a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch separation in between blades. We're going to close it down all the way, and we're going to do it again. Okay, and I'm going to close down all the way. We're going to take it over his sideburns, and we're going to go back and line those off. My straight razor? Yes, no? Yes, I do. Yep. Okay, I'm going to come in at an angle because that's how his hair is growing with the clipper in the open position. I'm going to close it halfway. I'm going to close it all the way. And then we'll come back with our trimmer when we're done.